Hey y'all, what's going on? Welcome back to the Gotham Graffiti podcast. We are on episode 14. My name is Gunnar, this is my cousin Scott, and we've got a bulky episode today. This will be a longer one. We are trying a new segment today in the middle of the show that we think y'all will like, as well as we will be going over the Joker news, the news of the last Ronin, and of course our read of the week. So we're going to jump straight into it with the Joker trailer / news, kind of just giving our overall thoughts. So kind of, you go into that first.
All right, so for those of you who haven't seen it, Joker trailer dropped a couple of days ago. As of when this will come out, it'll probably be about a week or so. But our initial thoughts, so we've kind of covered the second Joker movie here a little bit on the channel before. I don't really think our thoughts have changed that much. We kind of just saw, it was like a minute and a half, 2 minutes of just some like different still shots and different like set pieces from the Joker. I think it visually looks great, and I think that they translated, because I was afraid that when they brought in Harley Quinn, it would kind of change everything a little bit. It doesn't look like that's what we're going to get. It looks like it'll be very consistent with the first movie as far as the look of it and the feel of it. I have a little bit more hope for Gaga. I will admit, when I heard Lady Gaga was going to be Harley Quinn, I was not excited about that. But seeing her in the trailer, yes, she doesn't have on her, red and black spandex like she does in the comics, but she still looks like Harley Quinn, and I could buy, at least from what I saw, I bought her being Harley Quinn on screen.
Yeah.
There is still, and we don't even necessarily know if this is true yet or not, there is still the rumor as to whether or not this is going to be like a straight-up musical. If it is, we're not super looking forward to it being a musical, but we've said this before on the channel. We believe that Joaquin Phoenix wouldn't have accepted it if it wasn't worth telling. So even if it is a musical, I do think it'll still be worth the watch. This is just kind of a very, because, with the Joker movie that we got, it was very different than a lot of the other villain movies that we've gotten before. And I think this will be even more different than we've gotten before. And so it's one of those things that's kind of just, we'll see what happens. We're not really sure exactly what it's going to be like or look like. We know what it'll look like. But as far as plot-wise, it'll just be very interesting to see. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I got a lot. So like the same thing you said. I think visually it looks insane.
Yeah,
like
it's
they're capitalizing on everything they did well in the first one visually and just amping it up. The set pieces look great, like the Hotel Arkham.
Yeah,
and it looks awesome. I trust Joaquin and Todd Phillips. So, this being a movie that Joaquin Phoenix, and even though Todd Phillips didn't win the award, it was his movie. Like, Joker won Male Performance of the Year in 2019 or 2020, whenever it was. So, like, and that was someone like Joaquin who had never won that before. And Joaquin's one of like the most decorated actors in Hollywood.
right.
So for him to have finally gotten that award, which is basically the MVP of acting.
Right.
Like, he got the MVP award. I don't think he would sign on to a second installment if it was not going to be what it needs to be.
Right.
That's at least the way I view it. I think, the whole thing without it being a musical, because, in the trailer there wasn't anything.
It was kind of teased a little bit.
Well, because there's that line in it, and like
music,
it was like we're paraphrasing, but it was something along the lines of like how important music is in life, like something like that. And then, like, granted, I've never watched a lot of musicals. I know you grew up watching them, so maybe you can inform me here.
Okay.
A lot of the set pieces to me looked very musically.
Yeah, I was actually, now that you say that, some of the shots that we got, it looked like it was like in the middle of a musical number.
Like when they're both going down the stairs and doing the kick, I was like, I bet you that's a number.
In the first Joker movie, it's not like there was no music in it whatsoever, because, you have the scene of him going up and down the stairs and him kicking and whatever.
Right.
You have him dancing in the bathroom. there were various scenes like that. When we say musical, we mean like you're watching Bye Bye Birdie or like Hairspray, like something like that. So,
yeah, in that, I just don't know, like, because obviously, like, Lady Gaga's in it, so
Right. Well, and
like she's for sure gonna be singing. You don't cast Lady Gaga.
She's gonna have
Harley
at
Quinn.
least one musical number in the movie.
So I guess that's the thing is like, at least for me and my personal taste, if it's a a thing here and there, I don't mind. It's just something artsy. I get it.
Right.
But like if
we're getting La La Land and with the Joker.
Yes. Yeah, and like I literally saw somebody say that. I saw somebody say that Joker 2 is gonna be La La Land, but for like emo boys. Like, and I just. Now that being said, I've never seen La La Land. I knew it was supposed to be really good. It's supposed to be a very well done movie.
Yeah, but La La Land is one of those like every 5 minutes
they're singing.
Yes.
Yeah, I just because I also have a very sour taste in my mouth for musicals. Just really quick sidetrack. You'll think this is funny. I think I've told you this before. My now ex-girlfriend at the time wanted to watch Mamma Mia.
Oh.
And I had no clue what it was.
Yeah.
And she
There's
was like,
some singing in
and
it.
she was like, can we please watch Mamma Mia? And I was like, well, what's it about? She goes, you'll like it. It's like, it's just like this movie. And I'm like, all right, whatever. And like, if I remember correctly, like it opens up with singing. And I remember being like, is this a musical? And she goes, no. It just starts that way. And then like 5 minutes later, they sing again. I'm like, this is a musical. And then she goes, no, there's just some parts. It was a musical. So like I don't want a story that was as well done as The Joker to be done in a second installment, and it just kind of become, for lack of a better term, campy.
Yeah.
And this is not an insult because my cousin was at one point a theater kid. I don't want it to feel like a bunch of theater kids got a hold of The Joker and we're like I don't want that. But
hey, same here. I don't want that either.
yeah. But all that being said, it visually looks great. We'll definitely be watching it. I trust Joaquin. I trust Todd Phillips to do well and give us something that is worth watching. And if nothing else, I guess we get to see Joaquin's Joker again. So that's, I mean, there's that. We get to see Joaquin's Joker again. Oh, really quick before we close out the segment. Also, I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with the Bruce Wayne stuff.
Oh,
because
yeah,
at the very end, they tease Bruce Wayne's parents dying, so I'm very interested to see. I'm not going to be surprised if they don't touch it, only because now we've got Robert Pattinson's Batman, and it's confirmed we're going to have a James Gunn Batman.
Yeah.
So we're already going to have 2 Batman in the next 3 to 4 years, so I wouldn't be shocked if they're just like...
What if it's Pattinson's Batman?
Yeah, well...
It's a young Pattinson Batman.
Yeah, right? But, so we'll see. But,
This just... If you want to sum up this entire segment, it's just... We'll see.
We'll see.
That's pretty much.
We'll see.
What
That's where we're at. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. So for Read of the Week this week, I am actually going to be the one doing it this week. He'll be doing it next week. But we're going to bring you something that I actually just read a couple of days ago. Funny enough, he actually got this for me for Christmas this past year. Because
I'm a good cousin.
Yeah. It is called Nightwing Leaping into the Light. Now, this is only the first edition of this run. I think we said there were 7 of them.
7.
Yeah, so I've only read the first one, but even just from the first one, from what I read, I was hooked. I was telling him just before we started this segment, so it's not that I like comics, but for me... reading...
Yeah, it's good because you'd be doing a waste of time on this show.
But for me, reading can sometimes feel like a chore because I have dyslexia, so sometimes it's a little bit difficult for me to get into it. But once I get into it, it's very difficult for me to put it down. This was one of those books that it's not that big, but the way that I read, it probably would have taken me about a week to do it. It took me 2 nights to finish the story. So kind of...
Cody Rhodes remark there.
Hey,
nice.
Go watch that video if you haven't seen it. But to kind of briefly go over the story without ruining anything, there's a new face in Bloodhaven because this is where everything takes place. There's a new villain in town. He's very mysterious. He's not, from what I understand, he's not a villain that we've ever seen before. He steals people's hearts, which was a shock to see that panel. But there's a lot of stuff with the crime families. You got the Maronis. Even with that, you got the Zucos. There's a lot of twists and turns, even regarding Dick's like heritage and where he comes from and some of his family lineage. You get to see there's a lot of really cool stuff with Batgirl, with Tim Drake. Batman makes a cameo here and there. There's actually a really funny bit where Batman's in trouble, and Barbara calls up a bunch of heroes, and he turns out he was fine, and then you just see, hey everyone, like he's fine, don't worry, and you just see Batman in like the Batwing.
Yeah.
He's like he was about to mess somebody up. It was really funny. Also, yeah, that's another thing. The humor in this. The author in this, what's his name?
Tom Taylor.
Tom Taylor. He did some of the Spider-Man runs. So if you kind of like that sarcastic, witty humor from Spider-Man, that's in a lot of this book. Like I audibly laughed a couple of times while I was reading this. But just to kind of briefly sum it up, it was a really just cool Nightwing book. Not only did you get to see, like, there's some really good art in here because it's kind of realistic, but it's also got its own flair to it. But you get to kind of see Nightwing kind of like more his personality, I think, which is a lot of times kind of grazed over in Nightwing and Batman and Robin stories. But you really get to see the heart of Nightwing and how much he cares about other people. And just how much he cares for the people in his city, and how much he wants to protect them and take down evildoers, which is really all we want in a superhero comic. So, for those of you who have not read Nightwing Leaping into Light, I highly recommend it, and that is our read of the week.
Okay, so starting a new segment this week. We wanted to get creative and do something new, so we are calling this Gotham Graffiti Family Feud.
Yes.
It's a little bit of a hybrid between Family Feud and Jeopardy, but essentially the way this is going to work is we have five categories each with 3 answer slots in each. The way it's going to go down is I'm going to say, for example, this isn't one of mine, but if I were to say Superman villains, and I have 3 Superman villains listed. For all 3 villains, I have a question or a remark hinting to who it may be. If he gets all 3, great. He gets 300 points. Or no, I'm sorry. He would get. We're doing it in terms of hundreds.
600 points.
Yes, so it'd be 600 points.
Because it goes 100, 200,
300. Now, the way it's going to work is after 3 guesses, you only get 3 guesses. So if you get 3 guesses and you whiff on all 3, you get nothing. You get 2 hints per game. So out of the 5 rounds, on top of the question that's already been given, if you choose to use one of your hints, you can use one of your hints, and that will help you along the way. So that's essentially the way we're doing this. It's a little bit of a rush shot. We're trying it out, doing something new, but we think this is going to be fun. Also, the categories are any and everything: comic books, movies, TV shows. It's everything. So we're keeping it fresh. So why don't you go ahead with your first category for me?
So my first category, we're going to start out a little easy.
Okay.
It is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So any questions pertaining to the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
The movies specifically?
Movies, behind the scenes.
Okay.
Okay. So, MCU for 100 points. Which duo directed Civil War, Winter Soldier, Infinity War, and Endgame?
The Russo brothers.
Correct. All right. Moving on to 200. What movie did Hawkeye make his MCU debut?
Oh, crap.
It's one of the. I'll give you a hint. It's one of the Phase 1 movies.
I know that. I was about to say Iron Man 2, but that's Black Widow's debut.
Yes. Give you 10 seconds. 8.
Is it Avengers?
7.
Okay, well that was my guess.
Okay, yeah. So it wasn't. It was Thor.
Oh, that's right.
Yes,
he is in Thor. He is in Thor. Okay.
All right. MCU for 300 points. What movie did Thanos make his first post-credit cameo?
Oh, crap, dude. That was so long ago. It wasn't any of the Caps.
No.
It wasn't any of the Iron Mans. It wasn't one of the Thors. So it was one of the Avengers movies.
Which one? Got 5 seconds. Take a guess.
What?
4.
Was it the first?
3,
no, it's Age of
2.
Ultron.
No, it was the first one.
Dang it!
You were so close. You almost had it.
Okay, all right.
you
Here.
got-
Oh, wait, we probably need to get a pen to mark this stuff down. Hang on. Crap, dude. I should have stuck with my gut, man. It was one of those. I thought. I was like, well, no, the first one's that's too obvious. It had to have been Age of Ultron. Okay. All right. So for my first category, we have 90s animated villains.
Okay. All right.
So for number 1, for 100 points, who is Spider-Man's biggest physical threat in the show? There's a couple to choose from. So
Yeah, I've got 2 in mind. I'm going to go with Venom.
Correct.
All right.
100 points.
Okay.
All right. Who is, out of all 90s animated villains,
Okay.
there's probably only really 3 or 4 you could choose from.
Okay.
This is a legacy character.
A villain who's a legacy character? Mm-hmm. That's a Spider-Man villain.
No. This is 90. This is like Marvel, DC. This is 90s animation.
Oh, 90s animation who's a legacy character?
90s animation villain. So it could be from any of like the 5 main shows that were going on in the 90s.
Okay. I'm going to go with Hobgoblin.
It was way, way more obvious than you thought. Joker.
Oh, man.
It was
Okay.
It was way
Well,
more
you said
obvious than you thought.
legacy, so I was thinking like a continuation of the... Okay, all right.
Well, and if you think in terms of 90s animation, Joker is the biggest legacy character because that's where Harley Quinn comes from.
Right, right.
Okay, so for 300 points, who is the most dominant force in the DCAU?
In the 90s? Like the
90s,
90s,
2000s.
Darkseid?
Yep.
Okay, all right,
All
cool.
right. So what? That's a total of 400? Okay.
Yep. Alrighty, back to me.
Yes. Oh, yes. Sorry.
Alrighty, so our second category is rogues. So this could be villains from DC, Marvel, whatever. Okay. So our first rogues question: which Spider-Man rogue can shapeshift?
Chameleon.
It was Sandman.
Oh, dude, that's the...
All right.
That's like his main thing.
Well, I know, but
Yeah, that's fair. That's
all
fair.
right. Okay, so for 200, which Batman rogue is Bruce Wayne's old friend?
What do you mean by old friend?
Like they were friends since they were children.
Oh, Thomas Elliott.
Which is...
Hush.
Okay, there you go.
Hush.
You got that one. All right. Last question. This one might be a little bit difficult, but we'll see. Which Batman rogue originally made his debut in a video game? Think of the main Batman video games.
So the Arkham trilogy?
Yes.
Oh, Arkham Knight.
There you go. You got
Arkham
it.
Knight. Okay. All right.
What do you got?
Okay. So for my second category, we have... Oh, by the way, are you marking my points? I'm marking your points. So we don't
Yeah,
lose track.
I've got them marked. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let them up.
Marvel heroes.
Okay.
Okay. This is someone who is strong physically as they are mentally.
This is a Marvel hero.
Marvel hero.
Okay. Strong physically as they are mentally. I can't be the Hulk. I'm gonna go with...
Think before I'll give you a little bit of a think. Strong is a subjective term.
Okay.
So strong may not be in terms of literal
Physical.
brain strength. It may be in a different way. It may not be supernatural.
I've
Don't
got,
overthink it.
I've got 2 people I can go with. I'm
Okay.
gonna go with Beast.
Okay. It was the Hulk.
Oh, what?
It was the Hulk. That's why I said physically he's like the second smartest man in the Marvel universe.
Well, yeah, when he's not the Hulk.
No, it's Bruce Banner. He's as strong
Right,
as he
when
is
he's not the
physically.
Hulk.
Right, he's as strong as he is physically.
All
as he
right,
is
okay.
mentally.
All right, okay. Sure.
Dude, that's why you'll see it when you're editing. Right when you said Hulk, I looked at the camera and I was like,
Well, it can't be Hulk because when he's the Hulk, he's stupid.
Okay, all
most
right.
of the time.
not sure you read the comics. Okay. Okay, all right. He can smell and track better than any of the characters in...
Wolverine.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
We're good.
Okay, for 200. All right, for 300. This character loves himself some big band.
Loves himself some big band. And he's a Marvel hero. By big band, you mean like Frank Sinatra?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Shoot, I have no clue. I feel like I should know this, though.
Throw something at the wall. 10 seconds.
Spider-Man.
Captain America.
Captain America. Oh, of course it was Captain America, because he's from the 40s.
Yes.
Dang
okay,
it.
so
All
200.
Right. So for your third category, I have animated DC. So this could be the animated movie universe. This could be the shows from the 90s and early 2000s. It could be any one of those.
Okay.
All right, so for 100, which DC AU movie did Nightwing and Batman throw hands?
Bad Blood.
Correct. All right,
Blood.
so you got that for 100. Now, for 200, what teenage superhero got his own show that was not originally a DC property?
What teenage character got their own show that was
So,
not...
like, I think this was like early 2000s when this came out.
Oh, Static Shock.
Correct. All right, so for 300, how did the creators of Batman the Animated Series find the voice actor for Harley Quinn?
Well, I mean, the easy answer is the auditions, but the...
Well, no. There was like an event that they were like, oh, this is who we're casting. They talk about it in the documentary.
Okay, so I'll give the answer that I don't know if it's your answer, but I know the answer from Andrea Romano.
Mm-hmm.
Is she said that she was because her real name in real life is like it's like Harleen something.
Yeah.
She was an actress in I don't remember what the show was, but she was playing like a clown.
Right.
And that's how
correct.
they. Okay.
That was
Okay.
the
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
answer. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, you got all three of those. Maybe I should have done that category.
I was gonna say DCAU's my bread and butter, dog. Okay. So third category for you. DC Batman sagas. So this is going into the comic books, okay?
All right.
So, for number 1, this saga had scars from Bruce's past, early past, going into the events that were currently happening as an adult.
I mean, you could say all of them because of his parents, but...
It has nothing to do with his parents.
Are you saying emotional or physical?
I mean, the events that happened in this saga at the beginning don't have to do with his parents, and they are more or less emotional from when he was a child. They also, I'll give you a little bit more. It had more to do with than just Bruce. It was one other character when he was a child.
I would have to say Hush.
Correct.
Okay.
Hush.
All right.
Hush. All right. Number 2. For 200 points.
Okay.
This saga was what put Scott Snyder as a writer on the map.
I think I know the answer, but I'm not sure.
Don't overthink it.
I don't want to be wrong because I feel like this is something I should know. The New 52.
Court of Owls.
Oh, dang it. Yes, it was the Court of Owls.
Court of Owls.
You're right.
Okay. So now this is it's not so much of a saga, it's more of a collected edition.
Okay.
This collected edition is a collection of books from our childhood.
A collection of books from
It
our
is,
childhood.
I'll give you, it's an omnibus.
It's an omnibus.
Came out recently.
Oh, is that the one where it's the omnibus of the Batman the Animated Series, the big thick one?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right.
All right, so for that one we got 400 again. Okay.
All right. Okay, so for your fourth category, this is anything Spider-Man.
Okay.
This is Spider-Man.
Like Spider-Man lore in general.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so for 100, so most of the time, not in every iteration, but most of the time, What power does Peter not actually have of a spider?
Shooting webs.
Yes,
Organically.
Correct. All right, for 200, what is Spider-Man's kid's name?
Oh, crap.
She was in Beyond the Spider-Verse. Oh, wait, you didn't see that movie. Never mind. It's a girl.
You'll have to.
You don't know?
No, I don't even.
It's Mayday Parker.
I wouldn't even guess that.
All right. Okay. All right. For 300, this one might be a little bit more difficult.
Okay.
What villain took Spider-Man's leg?
Okay, I'll use one of my hints here.
Okay.
Can you give me some more?
He's one of Spider-Man's #1 villains.
Well, when I said give me a hint, like is this comic books? Was this a movie?
It's comic. It was. This is when Spider-Man had to retire and he got married to Mary Jane, and then they had a kid together.
Oh, I'm not gonna get this.
Think of the main villains of Spider-Man.
I mean,
there's a couple different.
There's really only two I can think of that would actually do that. You mean physically taking his leg away?
He chopped his leg off.
I'm gonna go with.
$5 seconds, or I'll give you 10 seconds.
Am I thinking too hard into it?
A little bit. 5.
Kraven.
4. No, it was Green Goblin.
Dang it, dude. Dang it. Yeah, I guess Kraven, because I was like, well, Kraven's a hunter.
That was one of the comics that I read when I was a kid. They had a Spider-Woman comic book, and that's how it opens, is that Spider-Man, or Green Goblin, they get into a fight.
Yeah.
And he chops off his leg and he had to retire.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right.
Number 4.
So for me, here, your next category: Star Wars planets.
Okay.
All right. So for number 1, this is one that we frequent in Battlefront 2, and is one of our more favorites.
Camino.
Incorrect.
Oh, what? What was it?
Geonosis.
I don't like Geonosis.
Yes, we do. What?
I don't. It's okay.
Oh, I thought you liked Geonosis.
No, it's okay.
Well, Camino was too. I would have said our favorite.
Yeah. Well, if you said it was okay.
All right. So
That's
number 2, this planet. There is both an end and a beginning at this planet.
An end and a beginning?
An end and a beginning.
Like physically?
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe. In a couple different ways. An end and a beginning.
An end and a beginning. That's very aloof.
You can use one of your hints here if you'd like.
An end and a beginning. Wait, I think I might know what it is. I'm going to go out on a limb here. Is it Mustafar?
Correct. It is Mustafar.
The end of Anakin Skywalker and the beginning of Darth Vader.
Yes. Okay. So for third, 300 points.
Okay.
This planet is known for its science.
For its science. Like the scientific inventions that come from this planet?
In general. The brain power, the inventions, the pioneerism of the planet.
Pioneerism of the planet?
It's probably not a word, but...
Shoot. I can think of 2, but one of them's a repeat, so I doubt that's what it's going to be. I feel like I'm going to get this one wrong.
Go for it. 5 seconds.
Kessel.
Camino.
My other guess was going to be Geonosis because they were the ones that helped build the Death Star.
That would have been a good guess.
Which, Camino makes sense.
Camino. I mean, they make the clones.
That makes sense, yes.
Yeah.
They make the clones. So, all right, we're moving into our last category for you. So this is the Bat Family. And by the Bat Family, I don't necessarily mean the Robins and that. It could be some of his allies, perhaps, that he works with.
Okay.
So...
Per question, I might need you to narrow it down because that could be really broad.
Okay, so I don't mean like the Justice League. I mean like they're allies in Gotham that he. But like it could include like Huntress, but she's not in the.
They're
Bat
allies in Gotham.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but it does include members of the Bat Family.
Okay.
This one's really easy. Who is the third Robin?
Tim Drake.
Correct. For 200 points. Who originally took up the mantle of Batman after he was injured?
Dick.
No, it was Azrael after Nightfall.
He wasn't Batman.
Yeah, he was. He became Batman.
Have you read Nightfall?
Yeah, I have.
Dude, he didn't become Batman. He got a tech suit
And
that
took up the mantle of Batman.
kinda. The entire Bat family in Gotham was fighting against him. He
Yeah,
wasn't
but he
like
was Batman.
I guess by title, but like
Right. Well, that's what I was thinking of, right? Is that wrong?
if I'm being completely comic accurate with you, that's kind of a crappy one because it's like technically, but like he didn't take up the suit. He wasn't working out of the Bat Cave. He wasn't working with the Bat family. He went and made his own suit. Also, he was killing people.
Well, yeah, and then Batman came back and they fought, and he became the real Batman again, right?
Well, yes, but that's my point. When Batman was gone, when he was recovering from his broken back, like the
Right.
Bat family was fighting Azrael, and they were like, "He is not Batman. We are not supporting Azrael."
Well, I knew that.
So like, yeah, kind
But
of.
he became Batman, and he became, started killing people and all that. The Bat family started fighting him, and then Batman came back after his injuries, defeated him, and became Batman again.
I guess I'll give it to you. I guess on a technicality.
All right.
Yes.
I take victory in that, but it's not
on a technicality.
It's not as sweet as I thought it was going to be. All right, so for 300, which Batman family member is from Africa? He's in the Bat family. He's not an ally. He's in the Bat family.
I'll do process of elimination. It's not Dick. It's not Tim. It's not Jason. It's not Barbara.
Think a little more current.
It's not Cassandra. I mean, I'm not trying to be like race here, but like Lucius Fox's son is but like that doesn't make sense.
He was in one of the DC animated movies. Briefly, but he was in it.
Okay, I'm gonna use my hint here. My last hint. Which movie was he in?
I believe it was Bad Blood. I could be wrong, but I believe it was Bad Blood. He makes an appearance.
It's got to be Lucius Fox's son then.
Kind of.
Yeah, it's Lucius's son.
Batwing?
Yeah, Lucius.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Lucius's son.
Okay,
yeah,
you got that right.
Okay, yeah.
Because isn't there two iterations of Batwing? Like one that he's Lucius's son and
Well,
one where he's not?
No. Yes, but no. Like, there's someone that ends up doing it, but like, it's like, I don't even know the guy. Like, they did it as like a one-off.
Oh, okay.
Like,
right.
But like,
You got
9
it right.
times out of 10,
You got
it's
it right.
Lucius's
For
son.
the crappy
yeah.
question I gave you before, I'll give you that one. That's fair.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Your last category is Batman the Animated Series episodes.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm really bad with episode titles, so we'll see.
Okay. Well, if it's like, you can say what the episode is, and I'll give it to you. You don't have
Like,
to
I
actually
can
nail
describe an episode, but if you
You
ask me
don't-
the name of it...
Yeah,
I
you don't have to
automatically-
name the title.
Okay.
Okay, so this episode won an Emmy for the show.
Oh, this one I do know. Heart of Ice.
Feet of Clay.
I thought Heart of Ice won it.
It did, but Feet of Clay is what got it all the recognition because remember the animation studio almost went bankrupt because when they did the animation scene of Clayface changing.
Freaking out, yeah.
That's what won them the Emmy and like put the show on the map.
All right.
Okay.
So, but it was the first one to win an Emmy, is what you're asking.
No, I was just one that won an Emmy.
Did Heart of Ice win an Emmy?
Heart of Ice also won an Emmy.
Oh, okay.
They both like
So
two
there were
episodes.
two right answers then.
Correct. I wrote down Feet of Clay. That was my answer, but yes.
All right. Okay.
Okay. For this next question for 200 points.
All right. What do you got?
In this episode, Harley Quinn is made a fool by the Joker and more or less breaks up with her at the time.
Oh, what is that episode? I know what.
Don't think too hard. It's really easy. He has a fit of rage against her.
Mad Love?
No, you thought too hard. Laughing Fish.
Laughing Fish? Did they almost break up?
Remember when they're in the thing and he puts the fish on her and he's like, "You're no good," and he kicks her into the water and like, then we don't see Harley for like a season.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
I was thinking of whenever he backhanded her through a window. That's what I was thinking.
Well, that's why I was saying don't think too hard, because that was the obvious answer.
Right.
But I was like, because in Mad Love, they don't really break up, because I remember at the end when she's in asylum and her thing, he sends her flowers with the card.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I got to get this one right. I have a feeling I'm behind because I haven't added up our points.
Number 3. I actually don't think you are. I think you're winning. Number 3. This is a little bit depending on your take.
Okay.
The greatest arc for a character, not including Batman, in the entire show's run.
And it's a 1-episode arc? Or is it like a multiple
It's
episode?
multiple episode arc.
Multiple episode arc. And it's not Batman.
It's not Batman.
Okay.
You can use one of your hints here if you'd like.
Oh, yeah, I haven't used any of my hints. Okay, I'll use a hint.
Okay. I'm trying to get one
Without giving it away,
not too obvious. One of the most iconic shots from the show is in this arc. Like, when you think of, like, stills from this show that, like, are used, this is, like, in the top 5.
I think I know what it is. Is it Robin's Reckoning?
It is Two-Face.
Ah!
Two-Face.
That was going to be my second guess.
So, yeah, I was thinking of, the shot I'm talking about where he's in the hospital and he...
Oh, yeah, yeah.
All right, so...
I was thinking of the episode card where it's got the lights with...
Oh, yeah. That would have been... That was a good guess.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, when you're talking about arcs in the show. Okay. All right, so you got a total of 4, so 6...
10...
1,200 points.
1,200 points. All right, so this... Hold on, give me a second. 1,700.
All right,
You won.
so
1,700.
I take the first round of Family Feud.
What else is new?
We will definitely, this will be something we reoccur. This was fun. I'm sure y'all enjoyed it. This was something different. We will also be doing a new series next week called This or That. So be on the lookout for that next week. But yeah, so to close it out, we are going to go into the news about the new Ronin movie. Okay, so to close out the show, we are going to talk about the announcement that just dropped. I think it was like literally yesterday that they officially announced it.
Oh, yeah, you sent it to me yesterday.
Yeah, it was like yesterday, maybe a day before. But yeah, so they announced that they're currently developing. I believe it's Paramount. Developing a live-action R-rated Last Ronin movie, which got me very excited. I'm a big Ninja Turtles guy, so. As someone who's not a massive Ninja Turtles guy, do you just want to kind of give us your overall general fan thoughts, you know, and then I'll go into it?
For The Last Ronin, I remember when he actually read it, and I remember when he picked up that statue that's been on our table before of The Last Ronin with all his gear and everything around him. Just from what I've heard from the comic book, I think that this is a fantastic idea for Paramount to do. I mean, especially if you're going to give it an R rating. I mean, from some of the stuff that I've heard, as far as like, we'll get to see all the other Ninja Turtles die, and Splinter, and we'll get to see, because we got, for those of you who don't know, Michelangelo is the Last Ronin. So
yeah, if you don't know by now, you know.
But like to see like a bloodlusted Michelangelo who's all matured and isn't really as jokey and not the younger brother anymore, like that. Like I didn't grow up on Ninja Turtles. I have like a vague appreciation for the Ninja Turtles, but like that sounds really cool. Like, that sounds like that could be a really good movie.
100%. So I mean, for me, I'm pumped. I loved the book. It was in like 2023 is probably one of like my top 5 reads. It was just so good. If you haven't read it, go pick it up. I mean, my only thing is we're supposedly getting this movie and then also a game. They've been talking a lot about the game we're getting as well.
I forgot about that, yeah.
I don't know if, usually the way these things work is like, I don't know if they're going to substitute one or the other. So in all honesty with you, if I was picking, I'd pick the video game only because I feel like you can flesh stories out a lot better with the video game.
Well, yeah, if you've got 50 hours.
Right, exactly. So like I would prefer that if I had to pick one, but if we're getting both, amazing.
Yeah.
My things with this, my wants would be, please, for the love of God, don't be innovative filmmakers and try and change the book. Just do the book. It's as big of a hit as it is because of the way it is. Don't change anything.
Whoever's directing this, it's an open book test, so you can.
Yes, just copy and paste. Obviously, if you're doing an hour and 40 minutes, a 2-hour movie, you're gonna have to probably beef it up a little bit with certain parts. So yeah, what I was saying is with the Saul and Mikey, I'd like to see the more fleshed out relationships, almost more of like you get to see him as a teacher with Casey and April's kid. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see a lot more of that, as well as just the relationships around him. Also, I want plenty of flashbacks. So I want to see.
We need.
I want to see Donnie and Splinter's fight in Japan. I want to see Raph's and Leo's fight with Casey and Mikey in New York at the time when everything's going on. I won't tell you what's going on, but what's going on at the time. Also, just maybe like you don't get to see a lot of it, but maybe just a flashback scene or two of just all 4 brothers hanging out. So you get that kind of You get you feel how hard it is kind of thing.
Kind of like what we got in the Under the Red Hood movie, like different flashes of their past.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Also, the brothers' ghosts you get to see a lot in the book. Keep that in the movie. Where Mikey's talking to them. They can talk. They're talking to him, and people are like, "Who are you talking to?" And he's like, "Nobody." Yeah. But like he's talking to Raph, Leo, and Donnie. And so I would love to see that, as well as the visuals. I feel like this is one of those movies where it's like kind of very, not that it's in this style, but kind of a Batman Beyond kind of thing where it's like it's futuristic and the Foot Clan is completely taken over New York. Like make it
post-apocalyptic Cybertruck,
but like
whatever.
A post-apocalyptic in like a very advanced way because like New York's running great.
Like
in
dystopian kind of
yes,
way?
Dystopian. Make it colorful, make it saturated. Give us a lot of rain visuals, right? As well as really establishing the Foot Clan. So, the Foot Clan is obviously taken over, and with the new leader of the Foot Clan, and I think this is a way to get people that are, you go watch the Ninja Turtles movie, and they're very kid, oriented and everything else.
It was a great movie.
It was a great movie, but like this is something where like you can get the 40-year-old men that are like, oh yeah, this looks sick, I'll go watch this. As well as, I also would love to see, you get to see it in the book, I would like to see it a little bit more, where Mikey has become an expert with all the weapons. So he has all his brother's weapons.
That's right.
He's got Leo's swords, he's got Raph's daggers, he's got Donnie's bow staff. Like, I want to see Mikey using all of them.
And be proficient and really good
yes, because he's had all this time to train.
Right.
Other than that, I can't get into too much more just because I don't want to spoil all of the book. And like we said, it's an open book test, man. Just copy and paste it. Add a little bit here and there where you need to beef things out. But overall, I think it is very exciting news. I think it's something that could be great for Paramount and a great, not so much a resurgence, but a great new offspring of the Ninja Turtles franchise that could bring in a lot of new fans. So, yes, I'm very excited for it whenever it comes.
Yeah, so thank you all so much for watching. If you would please hit that subscribe bell. We've gotten a lot of traffic through our shorts, so if you guys like more short form content, go check that out. If you like kind of hanging out, sitting with us for a little bit, podcast style,
we're here.
Come check out our videos. Thank you all so much for watching, and I guess we'll see you next time.